Hello, I'm Mark McNeil, and this is the Hack of All Trades. Today, we're going to be talking about the Monty Hall Problem, sometimes called the Monty Hall Paradox, the three-door problem, or the game show problem. You may have seen it in pop culture, like the movie 21 or Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's caused much arguing amongst average Joes like you and me, but even mathematicians as well. Inspired by the show Let's Make a Deal, hosted by Monty Hall, the premise works like this. You're on a game show and are shown three doors. One door has a great grand prize and the others have nothing. One wins, two lose. You get to pick the door you think has the prize. After you pick, the host opens a losing door. There's only two doors left. He asks if you'd like to switch doors. You give him your answer, and then they open the door so the audience can see whether you win or lose. It might seem like you have 50-50 odds of winning whether you switch or don't. Nothing changes by switching, but in practice, by switching, you actually have a 66% chance of winning. If that doesn't make sense, watch the premise again, and keep watching until you understand. Still don't? That's a problem. That's the Monty Hall problem. Don't worry if you're not getting it. That's why we're here. I recognize the 66% thing may seem wrong, but I made a simulation that proves it. We can see that out of 10,000 games, it won 6,704 times, or 67.04% of the time. Now, probability is an approximation for what should happen, and I'd say our results are pretty close. I think it's easiest to understand if we start at the end and work backwards. You have two doors, one you initially picked and one you didn't. One is right and one is wrong. Now, if you initially picked right and you switched, then you are guaranteed to pick wrong. If you initially picked wrong and you switched, you are guaranteed to pick right. This is important. You have a 100% chance, a guarantee, of flipping your initial right-wrong guess by switching. This is because in the scenario, the door being removed isn't random. It's always a bad choice that's being removed. You're always left with a high-stakes win versus lose scenario. So before the door is removed, what are your odds of picking correctly? 1 out of 3. What are your odds of picking incorrectly? 2 out of 3. So let's run through this forward. Your chances of initially picking wrong are 2 out of 3. Monty Hall removes one incorrect door that you did not choose. Now if you switch, if you initially chose wrong, you end correct. If you initially chose correct, you end wrong. The switch essentially flips your initial probability of winning. That's why by switching, 2 out of 3 goes from the losing probability to the winning probability. That is why you should always switch when given the opportunity, unless you're on Deal or No Deal. Subscribe for part 2 on how it applies to Deal or No Deal. I'm Mark McNeil. This is the Hack of All Trades. Have a great day.